Warning. Warning. UFO detected.
Hello and welcome to Let's Play of UFO Enemy Unknown. Let's pick the language and see what happens. Okay, UFO Enemy Unknown, new game, Blood State game, DOS. I intend to play multiple games in this series. I haven't decided which yet, and because there are a lot of shitty games in this series too. I mean, terrible, god-awful games. But probably at least the original game and the expansion pack, and some other games in the series. But I think it's good to start where it all started. This is the first game. That difficulty level, I think beginner and superhuman is right out. Probably experienced too. I'm not sure if it's how easy that is, or is it the same with the genius? I have no recollection of that. So veteran is probably a safe bet. Even if it's a bit too easy or a bit too hard, we can still deal with it. It's not going to be too much of an issue. And hopefully, at least. Again, it's nothing to indicate what each of these difficulty levels means. We will pick the middle of the road. And right off, we have to make our first big decision. Where to put our first base. It's a shame that we can't look at the funding yet. So that's what we really need to know. Can't use that method, the game runs too fast. There are really three good places. One is North America, because USA is the largest contributor. I mean large by a significant margin. Asia, another good one. You want Japan, China, and you can probably with the longer scanner you can do India, maybe even Australia, parts of Russia. But I think I'll go with Europe. Europe, they don't have such large contributors, but there's multiple ones here, so the overall effect will be a major one, and we can also cover parts of Russia and North Africa even. So it's a very strong starting position. Let's go here, where France, Germany is. We'll call it EU core. EU just to indicate, so I can tell the base location from just the name, and core to indicate that it has no special function. It's a full base. There's probably no point of numbering these. It's very unlikely that I'll build another core base in a geographical area. The game time starts rolling immediately after you start to create your first base, and it won't stop ever unless you're looking at some of these screens. So yeah, Total funding is a little under 6 million for us. US. Ooh, this was a good choice. It's a bit random where the values start. So Russia, not that great, but we can cover part of it. But we can cover UK, France, Germany, Italy. So that's well over 1 million right there. Spain definitely can cover it, and maybe Egypt. So you're in a very strong position. We'll save. I've tried this game a little to see that everything works. Because I really haven't played this game in a long time. So I had to really learn everything anyway. UFOpedia is a Wikipedia for the game technologies, game items. You can see detailed values of units, things like that. You're not meant to read through these. It's more about if you are interested in what something can do, you can quickly look it up and get detailed information. Usually I don't read these. But if you, for example, have multiple defense systems and you're interested in knowing how good the other one is compared to the one you had before, these are good ways to look at it. Yeah, you can see construction times, costs, maintenance costs, defense value, heat ratio. Missile defenses are crap. Absolutely worthless crap. They're crap in my opinion because of the reality of the game mechanics. Graphs is it records different activity levels, different fundings, things like that. It's more of a you can deduce some information about them. So for example, UFO activity in Europe. We have a base in Europe, so when we see UFOs and shoot them down here, it's natural to have activity increased. But it can be used in a way to deduce other things, like if you have a high activity in an area that you are covering but you don't see any UFOs really, you can deduce that there's great likelihood of there being some kind of a base there, like that. Or you can look that activity in North America suddenly rises, but it's very low in the Pacific area, so you can plan your future bases like that. So you have it's more of a high priority to get a base in North America than it is to get one in Asia, to keep your financial donor countries in the game. And the reason being is, if things go too badly, they'll make an agreement with the aliens, and that means they'll stop funding you, and they ain't coming back. So you permanently lose a funder, and losing someone like one of these major funders, that's can be a crippling blow. You can deal with it if you're long enough into the game, but at more of the early parts, it's that's pretty bad. EU core, and this is our initial starter base, free base, basically. We won't be building a new base. You need a massive amount of funds to do that. Let's look at the base information first. This is a quick overview: how many soldiers, engineers, scientists you got, how much living space, how much store base, laboratories, workshops, hangars, defense strength. I'm not sure what the values mean exactly. And detection range is radar installations, basically. We have one short-range radar, so that's terrible. We need at least one long-range to have any kind of basic detection capabilities. So, monthly costs. This is, yeah, you are renting your craft, you don't own them. So, they cost quite a bit each month. We will lose a couple of million right there just to have these 3 craft, 2 interceptors and 1 Sky Ranger. Sky Ranger is a troop transport ship, basically, at least. You can't put a weapon on it, but you'll use interceptors for that, shooting down UFOs. And salaries: soldiers, engineers, scientists. 8 soldiers and 10 scientists and engineers. 2.6 million each month. Stores, you can get an overview what's in actually your storage areas. Everything takes space. That's good to know. That is very... Transfers is you can transfer things between your bases. Let's start with the research. Laser weapons. Yep. Manufacture, and there's no products at the moment, so the engineers will just be sucking our money but not producing anything for us. But that'll likely change even within the first month, so I'm not going to sack them. Soldiers. 8 guys, that's too little. Because this isn't one of those games where everyone escaped alive. You're gonna lose people. You are so gonna lose people. And everyone have individual stats. And they vary quite widely, so... For example, time units are basically your action points each turn. It's not exactly a huge bad thing if you have low time unit amounts, and the reason being is because some actions cost a certain percentage of your total time unit cost. But it does matter because there are things like movement that cost a constant amount, like 4 points to move a single square or something to sit 2 points to crouch. So if you have a very limited amount of time units, you can still fight and shoot properly, but you have a hard time storming places, assaulting places, because movement and shooting will be very tough for you. Stamina, it's how you can maintain a high time unit cost usage. For example, if you multiple consecutive turns use all of your time units within a turn, your stamina will start to drop. A low stamina will mean you have a hard time to keep doing that for extended periods of time. You'll have to, at some turns, use only part of these or just rest, and you'll recover the stamina. Health is naturally hit points, it's very easy. Bravery usually doesn't come into play if things are going okay, but when your squad members start to dying right next to you, you can freak out your soldiers. So a high bravery means things will stay in your control. The soldiers will function like you'd expect them to function. So it's a very high, good stat to be a high one. Reactions is, I think, reactionary fire. So if you leave your characters with time units to shoot, and enemies come into their field of vision, they have a chance to do reaction shots. But it is a chance. It's not guaranteed. Accuracy, it's pretty self-explanatory. Throwing accuracy also. Strength is... you can carry as much as you can want, no matter what your strength is. But if your strength value is too low for the equipment amount you are carrying, you won't be able to spend all your 50 time units per turn. For example, if we had a low strength and carry very heavy weaponry and a loadout, we would probably only be able to use like 80% of our time units. And if we already had low time units, that basically means shooting and firing, moving and firing at the same turn would be very tough for us. So if you have a low strength guys, don't give them any heavy weapons, it just doesn't work. And as said, everyone has unique stats. They'll develop during the fights. So yeah, bravery 10, that's lovely. He'll freak out. So when the game ranks, you'll gain more stats. So it's not the end of the world if you don't have a great stats at the beginning, but it would help. First things first, we don't have any armor. All rookies are assigned to a craft. We need to build facilities. We need living quarters for more people. We don't need it now, but by the time we need it, I'd like to have the facility ready. We need probably a large radar system. We have a small one, but we want a large one to have more coverage. We need, if you want to have a high chance of seeing everything in that detection area, you want to build more than one system, but we're low on money. We're gonna be very low on money after we build everything we have and want and hire every one we want. General source, that's your general storage base. So we're already a bit short on it, so I want to immediately. Alien containment. Without this you can't capture live aliens, so it's a must. And that's about it. I don't build missile defenses. The reason is it's very unlikely to get a base defend mission so early on. And secondly, the UFO that will attack your base, it'll ignore your missile defenses. You're not gonna defend your bases with missiles, so why waste money on it? You want something a bit more powerful before building it. And I think that's good as far as installations are concerned. We will have to sell sack. Yeah, we'll sell some of the... Let's look at the craft. Sky Ranger is probably fine. We'll have to look at the equipment a bit closer another time. But the interceptors are not. They have a short-range missile system and a cannon, which is even shorter range and crappier weapon. So that's not really acceptable. We want avalanche missiles. That's long-range high-damage missiles with fewer shots. We want it because it's easier to bring down certain UFOs and because it'll keep our interceptors safe, since they can engage from a long range. But we only have one, so we need to buy more. Avalanche launchers, so 3 more, so 2 on both interceptors. We have no need for cannons. We'll keep the Stingray launchers that we already have, but we won't be buying new ones. To buy some missiles. Tank slash cannon, tank slash rocket launcher. That's basically a tank. Yeah, that's a weapon system it uses. Heavy weapons platform. One of those would be a great thing. I'm not sure we have storage space for it though. Basic weaponry, I don't think we need to buy them. We do need more scientists though. 10 should be a good enough investment. I don't want to buy engineers yet. And we need more soldiers, because we're gonna lose them and we would like to replace them immediately. We like to have at least 6 guys per each mission. I mean 8 guys. That's a decent amount, and it allows a couple of losses during each mission and still succeed. And we might want to buy some more weaponry of certain type. Ooh, electro flares, yeah. Electro flare is a must-have item in night missions. I was sort of iffy about them, how important they are, but when I tested this, I played a night mission, and what it means is the enemy doesn't suffer really from night. So it only hampers you. And without some kind of lighting, you are basically blind. You don't see anything. You can see the terrain, but what it happens is the enemy can fire from multiple times the range your guys can see anything, so it's very high casualty situations without some kind of electric flares. Okay. We'll look at the stock and sell extra equipment. Yeah, we don't need the cannons, we don't want them. We don't need rounds for them. We'll keep a couple of pistols, because even as crappy weapons as they are, you sometimes want something with your heavy weapon. We'll certainly keep the rifles. This doesn't include the equipment already placed in the Sky Ranger, so we actually have more weapons than this. I have one heavy cannon. I don't think so. Let's look at the Sky Ranger. We have a couple of pistols, 6 rifles, 1 heavy cannon, 0 auto cannons. No, I don't think so. And we don't have any high explosive ammunition. Full smoke grenade would be fine. Yeah, I think we need to buy at least 1 more autocannon and some high explosive clips. Where's the autocannons? Autocannon. 1 more, and need the clips, and we need high explosive ammunition. Clips I think will be used up only if you expend the clip fully. So even a smaller number of clips is sufficient to do multiple missions, as long as you don't fire every shot in a clip. Incendiary ammunition. Let's buy a few of those too. Okay. And I think at the moment we are ready to actually begin the game.